the only way that things will change in the construction industry is when things become normal or business as usual. So we want sustainability to be business as usual. It's not a special thing you add on at the end. That's just how you think, right?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to one more episode of Meet Our Sponsors. I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Jairis. Let me introduce you to Parag Rastovi from the Arbnco company. And hello, how are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, and would you like to say something about yourself and a small introduction for our viewers?
Yeah, so my name is Parag Rastogi, and I work for a company called Arbnco in Glasgow, and we make building optimization software and hardware.
Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit and about what did you study in university and what did you interest about?
So I studied civil engineering at university for the whole time, and I specialized in building physics. So how heat and mass transfer happen in and around buildings, and I'm that was my biggest interest was sustainable construction and sustainable design, and now of course sustainable operation, healthy operation of buildings. So
It's
yeah,
so
I guess most of my work has been in and around buildings. Yeah.
yeah, it's so interesting that you studied civil engineer, but you went into the sustainable part, which is amazing as well. And so tell us about the company that you work for and what do you do for them?
So the company is called Arbnco, and we're based in Glasgow. We're a startup. We've been going for a few years now, and the company is mostly a software company. We make software that helps building operators optimize the operation of their building. So I look after the air quality side, and some colleagues look after the energy side. And a lot of this is about, of course, retrospective analysis of performance, so you can improve the future performance. And a lot of this is also about real-time performance. So that's, for example, where the hardware piece comes in. So we also have some hardware that we make and sell and manage for people to improve the air quality inside a building.
Okay, that's very interesting. And this is what we're gonna have in the STEAM house as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And can you tell us also, and how do you find the quarantine, and how do you manage with work and your life, and how was it? Like, how was the experience?
Well, honestly, I have to give full credit to my team as well as the my colleagues who really didn't have much of a problem transitioning to remote work. They all, they made sure that their work continued. They made sure that we fulfilled anything that the customers needed from our homes, and so I full credit to the team for transitioning without any issues, showing a lot of flexibility. Um, we all do miss the social aspect of being in the office, of course, and we do miss being able to go to customers and talk to them. But we did transition to sort of doing all the installations remotely and stuff, which in a way accelerated what our business plan was to all, was all along. We always wanted to be suppliers, but not, we don't need to be on in your building installing sensors. So people can do
Yeah.
that themselves. It's a fairly simple task. We can make all the software and help you manage things. So yeah, that's, quarantine has been disruptive. It has made us do things differently, but on the whole, I think, given what could have happened, I think we came out okay. Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting that, as you say, you are a company that you should know you should do this online as well, and that you transition so fast. Also, and I believe that you are in the meetings all the time. You try to talk to each other. So once you go back and to like normal life, I think you will find this interesting as well to look at them. Maybe you can do this in the future as well. Hopefully we don't have another pandemic, but at least you manage how to do this, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I just want to move on to like the project and what your company is contributing to the Team Steam House. I know you have contributed also with most of our campaigns as well, so thank you. And with panel, but and like the actual software that we are going to have in Team Steam.
Right. So Yeah, we were involved in the initial design charrettes that the team had, and helping to guide the thinking of the students and of the teams and so on, which I of course is very important when you're trying to set the parameters of the project, right? And now, of course, we are in the detailed stages, so we are now helping integrate air quality sensing into the house, which is for health as well as comfort, and as well as energy efficiency. All of these things are, of course, quite closely interlinked. So you can't really do one without the other.
Yeah.
And we will be assisting by providing some small kit of sensors. I mean, it's a one house, so obviously it only needs a small
Yeah.
kit, right? And we'll be helping with API integrations and platforms, and of course, because I mean, the project doesn't really need our full platform because that's really designed for commercial buildings. And this is a house which has its own, one unified sort of platform. So instead, we'll be helping to provide sort of a one piece of the puzzle, very
Mhm.
important piece, which is indoor air quality, and any expertise around air quality and energy that's required.
Yeah, no, it's also important that since now with this pandemic, we have realized that even not only in commercial building, we need like good indoor air quality, but also in our homes.
Yeah.
Because if we are, for example, I also work and I go to university and I spend most of my time in this room.
Mhm.
So it's good to have companies like yours as well that provide this service. So hopefully you will have like more home as well. Yeah. So can I ask you why did the company decided to work with Team Steam?
Well, I think the initial introductions, of course, were made by Construction Scotland Innovation Centre (CSIC). They were the ones who introduced us to the team, and a lot of our team, including myself, have either graduated from or worked in universities in central Scotland. So
Oh, okay.
Heriot-Watt, Napier, Strathclyde, Edinburgh, Glasgow. To just in between these.
Oh,
So we all
okay.
were sort of part of the same networks, academic networks. So you know, after the initial introductions, the management was quite impressed by the project and the scope and what you're all trying to do, and it felt like it was a good fit for us to talk about sustainable construction, sustainable design, solar power, and the fact that, of course, we're taking Scottish technology or UK technology to the world, and
Yeah.
that's what we are. We are a UK technology company, so it's a good fit for us, both in terms of the technical sustainability message, but also, of course, the commercial side of, okay, this is showing our abilities and showing the best of our technology to the
Yeah,
world.
of course. Of course, because also you need to like there are two different climates as well. So I guess the software and all this that you're going to integrate with the house, they have to adjust to Dubai weather, also to Edinburgh weather because we are moving the house.
Yeah, in fact, I think our sensors help you to make that adjustment, right?
Oh,
So the
okay.
sensors themselves don't, the way the sensors are, they just record the
Hmm.
state, right? They don't actually tell you what to do, right? The tell you what to do part comes in the platform online, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
you can set those thresholds and standards to suit where you are. That's one of the things we designed into the platform because we knew the platform had to be global. So we have, for example, installations in Washington, D.C., which has a completely different climate from Singapore, from
Yeah.
Glasgow, from London. And each building is unique. So we knew that had to be always the case. So in that sense, the project's goals are a good fit for us because it doesn't really matter where you take the sensors. They'll always do give you the same information. And the qualitative interpretation of that information, of course, depends on where you are. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the person who's there knows it best, right? I can't know everything sitting from Glasgow. The person who's in the building knows it better.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So it means that actually the software can work worldwide, can work
The
anywhere.
software does work worldwide,
Oh,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And we're able to customize it for specific locations. And over time, we will be able to give better and better recommendations based on our knowledge of the physics of the problem. Because we're quite keen on not being just about providing the data. I mean, providing the data is important. Don't get me wrong. And it's very good to have good hardware, good measurement. But you need to know what to do with the data. at some point. And
Yes.
that's where we try to improve our customers' lives.
Okay, hopefully you this software will be implemented also in like third world country. For example, I'm in Panama, and it would be amazing to have something like this. So it would improve also the health of like the occupants as
Oh
well,
yeah,
I believe. Yeah. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully you can move. The company can move everywhere as well.
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, it's funny that people think that healthy buildings, sustainable buildings are a luxury, and they're not. Absolutely not. The people who suffer the most from pollution are poorer people. So
yeah.
it's a necessity. This is not a luxury.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that when I was back home and when I was working, I used to get sick all the time. And I think it was from moving from a really cold environment, indoor environment, and then hot outside. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe if you get customers from like all these countries, and our health would improve as well.
Yeah.
And so, how do you think this project will change the construction industry? Like implementing the software and the project itself, how do you think it will impact the future construction?
Well, so I've been peripherally involved with Solar Decathlon for a while now, since I moved. So during my PhD, I helped out with the team where I was doing my PhD. The university is called EPFL, and I helped the team with their entry and stuff. And we went around various competitions. So I strongly think that, of course, the most direct and immediate impact of this competition is to create a sort of cadre of engineers and architects and constructors who know what sustainable building is, who have worked on these projects, who get some experience, and they get exposure to these ideas and these challenges. Right? So it becomes, the only way that things will change in the construction industry is when things become normal or business as usual. So we want sustainability to be business as usual. It's not a special thing you add on at the end. That's just how you think, right? And
Yeah.
I think one of the great contributions of Solar Decathlon since it started, what, in early 2000s, has been exactly that, the training aspect. And in terms of course, the indirect aspects, people like us, companies like us, we get more exposure, and as does other sort of the fact that Heriot-Watt can put together this complex project gives the university a reputational boost and the people who work in it and so on. Um,
Yeah.
so what I'm hoping is that we come back to Scotland, we show the house, we show what we've done, we show what's possible, and people come and realize that actually, this is all possible. This is not black magic.
Yeah, of course, as well. And maybe some other people have the initiative to do the same as
Yeah.
well. So even if, as you said, not only in commercial building, but also like in normal houses. And I live in an apartment as well, so I guess it would be nice to implement these things as well. So
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully.
it's not like at the moment the UK is not at the cutting edge of building technology. I mean, this comes as no surprise to anybody, but we have issues in our building stock here, and uh, demonstrators like this one can be used to show the construction industry that, look, we implemented this, it's working. If it can work here, it can work in every other house. At least it gives us a sort of place to start showing people these things.
Yeah, and also as you said, and since we are students working and hopefully graduating soon, we also know these technologies as well. So when we work in industry, we are able to say we know this company that might be able to do this, and so we can. So it's like kind of networking as well for a better construction industry.
Exactly.
So that's good. Can I just ask you, sorry, has there been any challenges that Arbnco has faced in regards to sustainability, or in like any challenges?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean in our own company's
Yeah,
operational? Okay, aspects. So, we make electronics, right? We make sensors, and we make software. So, of course, the sustainability aspects are less of an issue. I mean, it's software, right? So
yeah,
you consume energy through servers and stuff like that. Um, we we have thought a lot about electronic waste, which
mhm,
is not something that gets a lot of attention, I think, in the race to develop a new. And I get it. I mean, right now we need to make buildings healthier, right? but that doesn't mean that we can ignore the fact that if we make a lot of electronics now, they have to be recycled somehow.
Yeah.
So we have been working to change our designs to make sure that they're recyclable. We have a sort of, you know, sort of a reasonable abandonment policy at the end of a sensor's life, um, which, for a startup is like, why are you thinking about this? But I don't want our company to sort of finish in 5 years, right? We're going to be around for a long time, hopefully, and our products are going to be around for a long time, which means we need to service them for a long time. So we're that's a challenge. Certainly is sustainability in the electronics industry is an afterthought, uh,
Yeah.
and so it's much like the construction industry, it's not like that industry is any worse than we are. So it's challenging to make people realize that yes, first cost is something to think about, and you need to grow your business so you can survive and all that, but you can't forget that you have a responsibility for all the material that you put out in the world and that you
Yeah.
are selling people, and you need to do something about it. And, so the principle of circular economy is something that we take quite seriously, and we do what we can, and hope our customers do the same.
No, it's quite interesting that even if you're in a startup company, you're thinking about this as well. And as you said, you don't want to just be not been around for 5 years. And it's also good, for example, with little projects like ours and big projects like commercial buildings project, that when they see this kind of company, that they are already thinking about what their products are going to be at the end.
Mm.
And they are I believe that they think more about, like, yes, the company is doing about something about sustainability, so it's not just I'm going to put all this equipment there and you just do whatever you want with it. You're also thinking about it, which is good. It's actually very impressive. And can I just ask you, like, how is your company planning to adapt for the future goals of net zero energy carbon neutral buildings?
Well, I mean, that's our business model, right? That
Yeah, I know.
we want to help people reach that, right? And in
Yeah.
fact, the thing that we bring to the table is we talk about operational reality, right? We are not designers. We're not architectural engineering firms who design buildings and design systems. There are lots of people that do very good designs. We are more interested in what happens when the building is constructed and occupied. Is it actually behaving the way you thought it would? Is it actually doing what you thought it would? Is it delivering good human and environmental outcomes? Right? Because net zero really only works if you're able to verify that, you have to be able to verify that it's worked somehow, and
Yeah.
then correct things, because things often go wrong, so you need to be able to sort of do course correction. So
Mhm.
in that sense, the energy side of the business is it almost entirely devoted to helping people identify waste, identify efficiencies, implement them, assess the impact. Right, that's sort of the core of our business. Similarly, in the air quality side, it's identify problems, do corrective action, see that the actions had some effect, and and of course, as we improve our software, both of those aspects will combine more and more to where we
Mhm.
can say, okay, well, here's the energy impact, here's the environmental impact, and then help people make decisions in operation.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. I'm doing my dissertation about indoor environmental quality, as I mentioned before in the panel. And it's quite interesting to see these kind of companies that are actually that some companies, they only think about the building, but you guys are thinking about the occupants and what do we find satisfaction and what is our comfort. So it's amazing that we have companies like this one, and I'm happy that we're working with you guys, because as I said, I look all the time into your websites and social media and see what you're working on, and it's very amazing. Me as a student, I learn from you guys, so it's really good. And finally, I just would like to ask you for a small message to all the graduates and students that are now in the industry, that they are thinking for a sustainable environment and thinking about all these things that your company and also push forward for sustainability.
um I think it's I'm not I only graduated less than a decade ago myself, so I don't have a lot of experience in the industry, only a few years. But I think it's important that when you graduate, of course, as you go into the workforce, hopefully you mature as a professional, and that's a great thing. You realize, you gain experience, you figure out how what you thought you knew was wrong, or what you thought you knew was, you had very little knowledge to begin with, and now you've got better knowledge, and so on. So it's very good to be sort of remain in that learning phase. People seem to think that once you finish your degree, you've stopped learning, which to me is a very strange concept. Is like, what? I mean, no, I have different problems every day. I have different things to deal with every day, and I learn from them, right? So I find it quite strange when people like, I'm done studying. It's like, well, not really. You never. Hopefully, you're never done studying, right? And I don't just mean like formal courses and stuff, which of course now. So I'm a member of CIBSE, right, the Chartered Institution of Building Service Engineers, and along with other chartered institutes, we mandate, if you want to maintain your chartership, you have to do continuing development,
Mm-hmm.
which I would encourage people to not take that as just a thing to be ticked, but rather an opportunity for growth. And at the same time, as you're learning all these things, I'm a big proponent of not of becoming a skeptic, but not a cynic, right? Which is sometimes a fine distinction, because as a scientist, you have to be, as a scientific person, you have to be skeptical of things. You don't take things, we don't deal in like faith, right? We deal in bring data to back
Mm-hmm.
up what you're trying to say. Of course, reputation and all matters, no doubt about that. But becoming a cynic about sustainability or high performance buildings is, to me, is just narrow and self-defeating. When I was graduating from undergrad, there was this, and several people told me this sustainability gig is pointless, right? And building energy simulation will get you nothing. And there's no future in changing LED lights and installing solar panels and so on, which was a bit quite disheartening, really, to be like, okay, well, yeah. But then I realized that those people were speaking from their very narrow view of the world, and they were afraid of how things were changing, and they weren't, that was not how they do things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not around to, that's not my career goal, is to help them feel safe about things. My career goal is to help the environment and people do better. So people will definitely tell you things like, oh, this doesn't work, and oh, you have a dream and it's unviable, or it's economically unfeasible. Yeah, it might be literally economically unfeasible right now, but you could develop it so it's not in 5 years, or you know who says buildings have to be the way they are right now?
Mm-hmm.
You go speak to, maybe you go speak to your own grandmother, and she will describe her childhood home. I can guarantee you it'll be remarkably different from what you have. Just
Yes.
the ability to turn on the tap and get hot water, that's only been around for like 40 years. So things change. So it's not like, just because you graduated into a certain industry, and there's probably a recession going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I graduated, there was a recession as well. Doesn't mean that things can't change and get better. So keep at
That's
it.
that's a good message. Actually, I completely agree with you that after graduate we shouldn't stop studying as well and trying to search more. And so it's a really good message. Thank you. I'm gonna apply that to myself as well after I graduate. Thank you very much, Parag, Rajiv, for being with us today and for giving us all these amazing answers of the company, and also so many good message for our viewers and our graduate students as well. So hopefully they will take it. And do you have any last things that you want to say, or?
No, I'm just good luck to the team, and we're looking forward to see what you guys will produce. I'm sure it'll be very, very cool. And
Okay.
any way we can help, we will try to help. And I'm hoping that in when we get the house over to Dubai in end of 2021, it really sort of looks the best version of what we thought we would do is what's going to show up there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And hope with the help of you guys and all the team as well. And so also, if you want to know more about Arbnco, they do have social media as well. So Arbnco on Instagram, Twitter, and on their website, you can learn more about all these amazing things that Parag has told you. So you can go on that one as well. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.